Yo, welcome to the wonderful world of Hungry Heath. Now I am not a classically trained chef. What I am is a self-taught home cook. I have studied under several television chefs. I have a PhD from YouTube University and a black belt from Google Food. Every Friday night, my wife and I, the sensational Shelly Eats Steak, we do what we call the Friday Night Feast. 6:30 Central, we just cook up something fancy or a couple of little snacks. We just sit around and chew the fat with all of our friends that we call the Hungry Horde. So come along, let's hang out a little while. Now tonight, we're going to be making a glamping version of Turf and Turf. We're going to do a pan-seared boneless ribeye along with some air fryer pork belly bites. Let's get started. So tonight's dinner is going to be the beautiful looking boneless ribeye. Look at all that marbling. It's a little over a pound, and we're going to season it with this Redmond's seasoned salt. And then we have a few strips of this beautiful pork belly. We're going to chop this up in a little bitty bites before we throw it in the air fryer. Let's get to cooking. So we got this air fryer loaded up with all these pork belly bites. And I'm just going to lightly dust it with my pork and poultry rub. I'm just going to do one side of it. I'm not going to care about flipping it because I just want it slightly seasoned. I don't care about all of it. But I think that'll be enough, just a hint to get it flavored. So we're going to do 400 degrees for 10 minutes. And then we'll open it up and check it and see what we like.
So for your steaks, you want to set them up at least 30 minutes prior to cooking, because what you want to do is get this a little dry. Now, if you have the time, optimal flavor, tenderness, and so forth is the night before. Take it out, put it like on a grated cookie sheet, where it's raised up, and then salt it, and then put it back in the fridge overnight, and that would really help dry out. But, we didn't have time for that or the space. So we brought it out. I'm just going to pat it dry with a clean paper towel. Do like that. And then I'm going to season it. And meanwhile, while I'm seasoning it, then I'm also going to get my pan on a medium-high heat. And this is, of course, is the Redmond's seasoned salt. That's my favorite for steaks. And so I'm only seasoning one side right now, and it's the side that's going to go down. So you want to have your skillet really hot where it's almost smoking, and you might have to turn your fan on or your vent, and because it's gonna, you could probably start seeing it's starting to get a little smoky in here. So you see how when this is getting smoky right here? I'll turn on the vent in a second, but I wanted to be able to show y'all. That's how hot you want it. I put bacon grease in it because bacon grease has a higher smoke point than, say, butter. So you want it where it's real hot and where the oil is nice and liquid and moves freely around the skillet. That's how you know your skillet is really hot. That's what we want for this boneless. And this would work great for a New York strip as well. So when you put this in, you're going to slowly turn it into it, but away from you, because you don't want it to splatter on you. See, I'm turning it away from me. And then we're going to let this sit. It's going to be tempting to touch it, move it, so forth. Best thing, leave it alone. If you're going for a medium rare, you're going to do between 3 and 4 minutes, depending on thickness. Now, this is a good technique if your steak is at least 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick. So ours, about 1.5 inches thick. So this is what you want. If it's thinner than that, you're going to do it different. And if it's thicker than that, you're probably going to want to do a reverse sear. But for something between an inch and a half, doing it in the skillet is perfect. So again, we're not going to touch this. I'm going to set my timer, and then we'll be back, and I'm going to turn my vent on while it's cooking. All right, it's been our time, so I'm going to turn this off so y'all can hear me. Okay, so it's been 4 minutes, and it should easily lift off, which it does. Look at that crust. Isn't that gorgeous? So, oops, I forgot. Sorry. Let me season this side. I meant to season it when I put it down and then forgot. So, don't do like I did. Make sure you season it when you slide it onto the pan. And then now, I'm going to turn it over, and again, away from me, side here. Oh, and see how the bacon grease is all sizzling in there? This is perfect. So I'm going to do it another like 4 minutes, and I'm going to start my timer, and then turn my vent back on so that it can keep cooking here in this high heat with all that beautiful bacon grease. Y'all, let's take a look. Oh, look at that beautiful sear. Now, what I like to do is, see, on a ribeye, it's got this beautiful fat cap on the one side here. I go ahead and just put it down for like 30 seconds to sear that off because I like my fat to get crispy. I'm going to do that, and then I think our pork belly, we need to check on it. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Let's see how this pork belly's looking. Oh, yeah. Look at all of that. That looks pretty. You can definitely see where the hot spots are. So I just like to go in here and just kind of flip these over because I want to crisp up the other side as well. Usually when I flip it over on this side, especially since these are little nuggets, I only have to do it for like 5 more minutes. So I'm going to get these flipped and then put it in for 5 minutes. And that'll go while my steak is resting. So it's been about 5 minutes on the rest of the pork belly, and let's take a look. Oh, y'all, look how good that looks. And then all of that beautiful baked pork and fat, bacon grease, that'll be perfect for using on all the rest of our meals. Sometimes I'll pour it out in a jar, or if you have one of those bacon grease jars, that's perfect for that. Don't waste the bacon grease. So I'm going to put this all on a plate, and then we'll get everything plated up.
Let's do this. This looks amazing. This pork belly is so fancy now. Love it. And of course, I got my keto chow, so I have my little steak and shake. I love doing that. Y'all know my obsession with alliteration. Let me get this out of the shot. And then, of course, we got this blazing hot from that spicing foods.
Yeah.
And I got to put a little drizzle over my pork belly, a little bit on the plate, and then but wait, there's more. From our local goat farm, Dapper Goat Dairy. I love these people. I'm having a little jalapeno goat cheese to put as a topper on my ribeye.
Now on mine, I do need a little more fat. If you've been following us or if you come to the lives, I have a coach. So she has me on a certain program. So I have to meet my macros. And So I'm just measuring out some butter here. Get a little more fat on this. And let's see.
While she's chatting, I'm gonna be chewing. Look at that. So good. So good.
Okay, perfect. That's just like 18 grams of butter. And this is like a French butter. I'm just gonna put some of that on here. Let that get melting. And let me try the pork belly. Now what I like about the pork belly is you can make it as crispy as you want or meaty as you want. The longer you cook it, the crisper it's going to get. And so I did it, still good little meatiness to it. That's good. I love this pork belly. We buy it to make our own bacon or just as a side to steak. It's perfect side to steak. And one time, where was it we were at? And we told them, we said, look, we just want turf and turf. And the guy was like, huh? And we said, look, we want our steak with the side of bacon.
And say on their appetizer menu, you could just get thick cut bacon. I said, well, why don't I just have that as my side instead of something silly like broccoli or whatever? Who eats that? Give me the meat.
Yeah, so the guy was like, oh.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it was like, wow, that sounds great. So do you want us just to put the bacon on top of your steak? Or
Yes, please.
yeah, and they served it up. It was really good because it was nice, real thick cut bacon. Just a slab of it put on top of our ribeye. And so ever since then, we started doing our turf and turf. And that's our bacon or pork belly with some steak. Y'all got to try it this way. It's like the best thing to complement a steak.
And that Redmond's seasoned salt is one of my favorite things to put on beef. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, a steak this thick, we would reverse sear it on a smoker. But I don't think they're going to be really happy if I bring my smoker and set it up here in this cute little hotel.
Yeah.
So, pan's what we got, so pan's what we're going to use. But it turns out awesome.
Yeah, definitely got to try it, especially if you like a more medium rare
Yes.
to rare steak.
If you like anything more than medium rare, just go order the chicken. I don't understand you.
But it's great this way because it really gives it that beautiful crust on both sides.
Yep.
And then I always turn it on the fat side to get that fat crisped up too. It's just delicious. And if you could, if you wanted to, instead of like I top mine with butter, you could use all of the grease and stuff in the pan, and after when you serve your steak, just drizzle that on top.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll do that. Oh my gosh, it's like just a good sauce for your steak. So it's perfect.
Decadent.
Yes. All right, babe. Well, I think this was another winner in our little hotel glamping.
Yeah. I won. I love this. Now, y'all, don't forget, every Friday night, 6:30 Central, we do the Friday night feast. We'll cook up something similar to this, or maybe just a little snack, and sit around and chew the fat with all y'all, my fabulous, fabulous friends, the Hungry Horde. Make sure you click that subscribe button. That way you can see anytime we do something like this. Smash that thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Tell me if you're going to try making this. And we'll see y'all on the next one.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.